اهلا بيكم. نبتدي مع بعض دلوقتي. يعني we're going to do exercise 12 for rule 12. You remember we were talking the last time about, or we were talking in the first part of the lecture about connector subjects. The connector which is used at the same time as a subject in the adjective clause. تعالوا بقى مع بعض نعمل exercise 12. Each of the following sentences contains more than one clause. Underline the subjects once and the verbs twice. Italicize the connectors. ليه بنقول نكتبهم بخط مايل italicize the connectors؟ لأن عايزين ندي على علامتين على نفس الحاجة، لأن انتوا عارفين إن الكونكتور ممكن هتكون هنا في الإكسرسايز دي it's also a subject. So I italicize it as a connector and I underline it as a subject. And put boxes around the adjective clauses. Indicate if the sentences are correct or incorrect. طيب تعالوا نشوف أول جملة. The pizza which is made in Italy is the most famous. طيب هو معلش في غلطة هنا في الكتابة. تعالوا نبص كده مع بعض. The pizza is the most famous. دي الجملة الأولانية. Which is made in Italy. مفروض إن البوكس يبقى هنا اهو. البوكس يبقى هنا. The pizza subject is verb في الادجكتيف clause which هي connector وفي نفس الوقت subject is made is the verb in Italy. طبعا this is another extra meaning بجيبه بإني بجيب prepositional phrase. طيب the pizza is the most famous. The pizza which is made in Italy يبقى which is made in Italy is the adjective clause qualifying or describing the word pizza. The sentence is correct بس طبعا خدوا بالكم is the most famous ده الجزء الأساسي من الجملة مالوش دعوة بالبوكس، بس أنا طبعا مش هعرف ألغي البوكس هنا. طيب the books are sold in the book fair are cheaper. عارفين يعني لما هتتعودوا ان انتوا تقروا جمل كتير صح، لو قريتوا جملة فيها حاجة غلط هتاخدوا بالكم منها على طول. هتاخدوا بالكم ان في غلطة هنا. The books are sold in the book fair are cheaper. انا هحس وانا بقرا كده لما بقول the books are sold in the book fair خلاص خلصت الجملة. اني اقول بقى are cheaper، طيب ما انا عندي فعل اهو ومالوش subject. طيب يبقى كأن أنا بقول the books are cheaper و are دي الفعل ده يبقى محتاج subject علشان يبقى adjective clause. الكونكتور بتاعه أو adjective clause الكونكتور بتاعها هو في نفس الوقت subject. the books نصلحها أحسن مع بعض which the books which are sold in the book fair يبقى which are sold in the book fair دي كلها في box هتلاقوها في الاكسرسايز ورا المحلولة. This is the adjective clause بتوصف books which هيبقى برضو هنحط تحتها خط تاني مفروض انها هتبقى الفاعل subject بتاع الادجكتيف clause. نبص على نمرة 3. I will vote for everyone who on the quota list. I will vote for everyone who on the quota. واضح who ايه؟ بعد who دي which is a subject لازم يجي وراها فعل. طيب I subject will vote verb for everyone who on the quota list يبقى عشان دي تبقى صح محتاجة اني اقول who is. ايه ده؟ انا عملت one مش who is on the quota not the quota who is on the quota list. يبقى who is subject and connector and is the verb. نبص على نمرة 4. It will not be easy to accommodate all members which are taking part in the conference. والجملة بنقراها كده حاسين انها كاملة. It will not be easy اهي. It subject will not be verb. It will not be easy to accommodate. طبعا الفعل اللي يجي بعد to, this is not a verb. This is only an infinitive مصدر. It will not be easy to accommodate all members. Which are all members? Members دي طبعا اسم اهي، حتى لو مش عارفين ان members يعني اعضاء، لكن اهي ما دام فيها s وقبلها all يبقى هي اسم وفي s يعني plural. طيب which are taking part, which are taking هي الفعل، يبقى which is a connector and a subject at the same time. طيب which are taking part in the conference، بس في غلطة إن which refers to things not to people، فمفروض إنها تبقى who. أسفة. Who are taking part in the conference. طيب the key that opens the closet, it was broken. The key, it was broken. ما دام عندي اهو اللي ابتدت بذات، يبقى دي مش جزء اساسي من الجمله، هعرف ان دي الادجكتيف كلوز اللي بتوصف كلمه key. The key that opens the closet. That subject opens verb ومعاها object. طيب يبقى كأن that opens the closet is the adjective clause that describes the word key. نشيل الادجكتيف كلوز عشان نشوف الجمله الاساسيه الثانيه. The key, it was broken. طيب the key هو it. يبقى هنا I have a repeated subject and this is wrong. The sentence is wrong. To make it correct, I should remove or delete or omit this extra pronoun subject. هقول the key was broken. ما بنقولش the key it was broken. طيب the guards reported the thief. The guards reported the thief. ادي جملة كاملة اهي. The guards reported the thief. طيب بعد thief كلمة اهي، ما دام قبلها ذا يبقى انا عارفة انها اسم حتى لو ما عرفتش معناها. Who was trying to steal the car to the police. طيب مش انا ممكن بس اقول the guards reported the thief، فاعل وفاعل ومفعول. to the police زودت معنى كمان زيادة، بلغوا عنه البوليس. وانتوا عارفين برضو قلنا في الاول ان prepositional phrases add meaning but they are not main parts. دايما ادور على الاجزاء الاساسيه في الجمله. طيب who was trying to steal the car دي حاجه مرتبطه، كل ده مرتبط بكلمه ايه؟ بكلمه thief. يبقى who subject was trying verb to steal the car infinitive و object. كل ده بيوصف كلمة thief، يعني دي adjective clause من أول هنا اهو كده اهو to steal the car، كل ده الadjective clause. طيب the guards reported the thief to the police دي الجملة الأساسية، وطبعا الجملة دي صح. طيب rice can only be planted in an area has a lot of water. طيب rice can only be planted. طيب ادي جملة اهي من فاعل وفاعل. in an area is has a lot of water. طب has فعل، طيب فين السبجكت والconnector؟ يبقى عندي هنا subject connector at the same time. يبقى rice can only be planted in an area which has a lot of water. نيجي لنمرة 8. The company will give a bonus to any workers who they have produced more than their quotas. The company subject will give verb a bonus to any workers. طيب جيت عند كلمة workers وقلت بعدها who they have produced. ادي who have who subject and connector. have produced verb اللي بينتجوا اكتر من الكوتا من الكوتا بتاعتهم، يعني المفروض ينتجوه اللي عليهم انهم ينتجوه. طيب ما اقدرش اقول who they، لان who هي they. who refers to workers و they refers to workers. يبقى to make the sentence correct I should omit this extra verb. يبقى who have produced more than their quotas. Let's look at number 9. The boy ran after the woman who had dropped her purse in the street. The boy ran after the woman. The boy, subject, ran, verb, after the woman مش مهم جزء زيادة. Who جاية بعد woman which is a noun، يبقى this is an adjective clause. Who had dropped her purse. Who, subject, had dropped, verb. Who had dropped her purse in the street. دي كلها adjective clause describing the word woman. alright. طيب نشوف آخر جملة في السكيل دي. The dust that was piled up. دي فيها prepositions or prepositional phrases كتير، يمكن عشان نشوف هنتلخبط ولا لا. The dust that was piled up in front of the door. مش مهم in front of the door. The dust that was piled up was an indication that the man had been away for so long. طيب فين هنا الادجكتيف كلوز؟ عندي هنا the dust that was piled up was an indication. طيب يبقى that was piled up دي adjective clause بتوصف ايه؟ بتوصف the word dust. وعندي كمان ما دام عندي that يبقى عندي كمان adjective clause. انا عندي كلمة indication حتى لو مش عارفينها انتوا عارفين ان اي حاجة فيها I و N تبقى noun. That the man had been away for so long دي كلها برضو that the man had been away for so long. هنا عندي adjective clause تانية بس خدوا بالكم هنا الconnector is only a connector. دي إشارة إن الرجل كان بعيد بقاله زمان. طيب دي it's only a connector. كل دي من أول هنا لغاية آخر الجملة adjective clause لكلمة indication. طيب نيجي للadjective clause بقى. That is a connector. The man is a subject. Had been is a verb. Away for so long بكمل أو بزود معاني تانية في الجملة. alright. طيب تعالوا نبص بقى على حاجة تانية بنقول sentences with reduced clauses. انتوا عارفين كلمة reduced اما نقول there are price reductions. reduction اللي هي الناون من reduce يعني في تخفيض اسعار، او اقول the prices are reduced بتخفضها. طيب يعني ايه sentences with reduced clauses؟ reduced clauses متخفضة. يعني ايه متخفضة؟ يعني ما بقتش clauses. يعني معناها ان انا بيبقى كان عندي clause وصغرتها قللتها خفضتها يعني ايه؟ يعني خليتها مش clause. تعالوا نشوف ايه المعنى. انتوا عارفين طبعا ان الفريز is a group of words without a verb or a subject, but the clause is a group of words with a verb and a subject. طيب reducing a clause means actually omitting or getting rid of the verb and the subject عشان تبقى مجموعة كلمات بس ولا حتى كلمة واحدة من غير وما تبقاش clause. لكن بنبقى عارفين ان دي في الاساس كانت كلوز، لان في فرق مهم هقول لكم عليه لما يجي وقته. Adverb clauses and adjective clauses in English can appear as complete clauses or as reduced clauses. متصغرة متقللة. That means changing a clause into a phrase. This is done by getting rid of the subject and the verb in the clause. مجرد ان انا تخلصت من الفاعل والفعل ما بقاش عندي clause، بقت reduced، لكن معروف ان اساسها clause. هنشوف ازاي وليه بقول لكم معروف ان اساسها clause، لان هنشوف دلوقتي انها ممكن تبقى متشابهة مع حاجة تانية لكن في اختلاف. طيب نبص على المثال ده. This is an adjective. They should be on the list which is prepared for the elections. They should be on the list which is prepared for the elections. طيب أنا ممكن أقول they should be on the list prepared for the elections. Prepared for the elections دي adjective clause بتوصف كلمة list. أساسها هو which is prepared. بقول لكم في اختلاف بين reduced clause وحاجة تانية احنا عارفينها. انتوا فاكرين لما كنا اتكلمنا على present participle used as an adjective past participle used also as an adjective، وقلنا ان adjective which is a past participle زي prepared بنستعملها مع to describe a noun which is an object which is passive. وإن present participle اللي هي preparing مثلا بنستعملها مع to describe a noun which is active، هو اللي بيعمل الفعل، زي ما قلنا washed clothes and washing machine. هنا برضو بنقول on the list prepared for the elections. ما اقدرش اقول ان prepared لوحدها is an adjective، لا. ليه؟ لان if it is an adjective it must come before the noun. يعني انا بقول washing machine وبقول washed clothes، ما بقولش on the prepared list for the elections، انا بقول on the list prepared for the elections. يبقى معروف ان هنا دي كان اصلها clause صغرناها عملناها phrase. ما بقولش ان prepared is an adjective which is a past participle، لا. prepared هنا هي جزء، هي الفعل اللي كان في الكلوز الأساسية، لكن هنا أنا غيرته وعملته تخلصت من الفاعل والفعل. طيب نشوف الادفيرب. although I was not really tired I slept all day. طيب جينا برضو عند although I was not really tired، مجرد ان انا شلت الفاعل والفعل وقلت although not really tired I slept all day. ومعروف ان although not really tired هي phrase لكن بتوصف مين؟ يعني بتوصف الفعل والفعل اللي في الجملة الأساسية، لأن هنشوف إن في حاجات ما نقدرش نغير الكلوز ونعملها فريز لو أنا عندي فاعل هنا وفاعل في الجملة الثانية. طيب تعالوا بقى نشوف الحكاية دي. Not all adjective clauses can be reduced. مش كل الادجكتيف clauses نقدر يعني we cannot reduce all adjective clauses into phrases. To reduce an adjective clause, the connector subject and the be verb that follows it are omitted. بنشيلهم. زي ايه؟ بنقول the man who is driving has no driving license. فهقول the man driving has no driving license. ما قلتش the driving man. The man who is driving has no driving license. شلت الكونكتور اللي هو who it's a connector subject وشلت الفعل. Well, the man driving has no license. طيب نيجي للجملة الثانية، والجملة الثانية the book is not active, the book is passive. بقول the book يعني بستعمل ال past participle مش ال present participle زي driving. The book which was written last year won the prize. فبقول the book written last year won the prize. معروف ان written last year لأن one طبعا is the verb for book. The book written last year دي كانت أساسها clause اللي هي which was written last year. طيب the AC, the air conditioner that is in the living room is out of order. طيب الجملة الأساسية إيه؟ the AC is out of order. طيب the AC that is in the living room شلت that is وبقت عندي the AC in the living room is out of order. بقى عندي in the living room دي كانت أساسا دي phrase أهي adjective phrase qualifying or describing AC ممكن تبقى clause لو فيها that is. طيب when there is no be verb in the adjective clause لو ما عنديش بقى verb to be في ال adjective clause the connector is omitted. افرضوا ان انا عندي فعل تاني ما هواش verb to be. The connector is omitted. The connector اللي هو who or which or that and the verb is changed into the ing form or the present participle. يعني بقول ايه؟ I do not know the candidate who applied for the job. طيب أنا ما عنديش هنا verb to be لكن عندي another verb اللي هو applied. فبشيل الفاعل الكونكتور the connector subject and the verb and I use the present participle of the verb. هتبقى I do not know the candidate applying for the job. طيب note that some adjective clauses cannot be reduced. Only clauses where the connector is the subject can be reduced. يعني ايه؟ مش انا بقول لكم مش كلهم لازم الفاعل هنا هو يكون الفاعل هناك. In other words, where there is not another subject in the adjective clause, the following clauses cannot be reduced. نشوف ليه. The article which you wrote was published today. أنا عندي هنا how many how many subjects. أنا عندي هنا two subjects which هنا is only a connector, it's not a connector subject. ده معناه إن أنا عندي two subjects. عندي the article والفعل بتاعها was published وعندي you wrote which you wrote دي adjective clause ليها فاعل تاني اللي هو مش the article وليها فاعل. ما اقدرش اقول the article wrote لان انا ما اقدرش احذف الفاعل حاجه اساسيه، انا ما اقدرش احذفه. انا هنا في الجمل اللي كان ممكن نعملها ريدكشن اتحذف لان هو بالفعل موجود، لان الفاعل في الادجكتيف كلوز وفي المين كلوز هو واحد. طيب the applicant ما بقولش who applied. شوفوا بقى انا عندي جمله تانية هنا the applicant who applied is not suitable. كان ممكن اقول the applicant applying، لكن انا بقول the applicant whom I met. ده انا عندي هنا فاعل تاني يبقى ما اقدرش احذفه. Some adjective clauses are separated from the rest of the sentence with commas because they are not identifying adjective clauses. بصوا بقى يعني انا قلت لكم انه مهم قوي البانكتويشن ومهم قوي الكابيتال ليترز والسمول ليترز والكوماز اند فول ستوبس. ده مهم جدا جدا في الانجليزي. غلطه فظيعه اني ممكن تغير احيانا في المعنى وممكن تدي معنى غلط لو ما استعملتش البانكتويشن صح. طيب نقول some adjective clauses are separated from the rest of the sentences with commas. انتوا واخدين بالكم ان لغايه دلوقتي كل الادجكتيف clauses تقريبا اللي استعملناها ما كانتش يعني they were not separated from the rest of the sentences with commas because لكن هنا بقى some should be separated because they are not identifying adjective clauses. يعني ايه؟ identifying adjective clauses يعني انا بعرف الاسم اللي بوصفه من الادجكتيف clause، غير كده هو مش معروف. يعني لو قلت مثلا the girl who lives next door broke her leg. who lives next door دي مهمة عشان أعرف أنهي بنت، ف I do not separate it from the rest of the sentence with comma. لكن لو قلت مها who lives next door broke his leg، مها ده اسم علم فهي معرفة بالفعل، فبقت الادجكتيف كلوز مش مهمة هنا عشان أعرف مين البنت اللي كسرت رجلها دي. ف you have to separate the adjective clause with commas. تعالوا نشوف مع بعض. طيب نقرا ده الأول. In other words, the nouns they describe are already identified or known. معرفة أو معروفة. And the adjective clause only adds more information. These clauses can be reduced and may appear in the reduced form at the beginning of the sentence. تعالوا نشوف الجمل دي. The pyramids which are located in Giza are the first of the seven wonders. طيب أنا لما أقول the pyramids are the first of the seven wonders، the pyramids هي معروفة، مش محتاجين معلومة تانية عشان تعرفنا إيه هما الأهرامات. يبقى the adjective clause here is not an identifying clause. identifying يعني مش هي اللي بتعرف الاسم اللي بتوصفه، يبقى ممكن اجيبها في الاول وممكن او مش ممكن، ولو جبتها في النص يعني سواء جبتها في الاول بيبقى في كوما بعدها، ولو جبتها في النص بيبقى في كوما قبلها وكوما بعدها. فهقول the pyramids which are located in Giza are the first of the seven wonders. ممكن اقول the pyramids located in Giza. طبعا انا قدرت اعمل reduced form. I could reduce the clause here because الفاعل هو الكونكتور. The pyramids located in Giza are the first of the seven wonders. وممكن اجيبها في الاول located in Giza, comma, the pyramids are the first of the seven wonders. طيب تعالوا نشوف المثال ده. The former president who is facing charges of corruption is critically ill. طيب الجملة هي the former president is critically ill. فين الادجكتيف clause who is facing charges of corruption؟ هو أنا محتاجة who is facing charges of corruption عشان أعرف مين الفورمر president؟ No. يبقى دي إيه؟ دي adjective clause which adds unnecessary information to know the noun. يبقى ممكن أقول إيه؟ The former president facing charges of corruption، المفروض يبقى فيها كوما هنا لأن في misprint، is critically ill. وممكن أجيبها في الأول وأقول facing charges of corruption, comma, the former president is critically ill. Both the pyramids and the former president are already known or identified. معرفين أو معروفين. Known معروف, identified معرف. And the adjective clauses are not needed to identify them. طيب. Non-identifying adjective clauses. Non-identifying adjective clauses يعني adjective clauses اللي مش بتعرف الاسم are separated by commas from the rest of the sentence. تعالوا نشوف المثال ده. On frequent television programs، خدوا بالكم programs تحتها خط أحمر. انتوا عارفين طبعا لو انتوا بتكتبوا على الكمبيوتر الخط الأحمر ده بيجي تحت الكلمات اللي هي مكتوبة غلط، مكتوب السبيلنج غلط. طيب هي مش مكتوب السبيلنج غلط، بس أنا هقول لكم بالمناسبة لأن programs ده السبيلنج الإنجليزي. This is the British spelling of the word. لكن لو لقيتوا مثلا إن أنا أهو شلت وقلت programs هتلاقوا إن الأحمر اتشال لأن الكمبيوتر السبيلنج بتاعه أمريكاني مش إنجليزي. but I like it to remain British. يجي الخط الأحمر أو ما جاش أهو. لا جه. طيب. On frequent television programs, the candidate gave information about his party. طيب. أنا هنا عندي أهو the candidate gave information about his party. دي جملة كاملة وعندي كوما قبلها. يبقى أفهم إن الجزء الأساسي ده اللي ما فيهوش commas اللي separated by a comma from the rest of the sentence is something which is not necessary. يبقى it is a reduced adjective clause. يبقى ما اقدرش اقول هو appeared وما اقدرش اقول appears لانها فعل، وما اقدرش اقول he appeared، لكن اقول appearing on frequent television programs the candidate. وcandidate هنا هي معرفة المرشح. انا عارفة انا بتكلم على انهي مرشح، عشان كده بقول ان الادجكتيف كلوز جت في الاول separated by comma لانها مش identifying. Appearing on television, frequent television programs, the candidate gave information about his party. Time. Because we have a comma separating the clause from the rest of the sentence, we can tell that we have a reduced clause at the beginning of the sentence. A is wrong because an adjective clause cannot come at the beginning of the sentence except in a reduced form. عشان تيجي في الأول لازم تبقى في reduced form. B is a verb that needs a subject. C is wrong because we cannot have two clauses with no connector to join them. D is correct because it is the reduced form of he appeared, which can come at the beginning of the sentence. He appeared بنعملها appearing on كذا كذا. The candidate gave information. Time. Let us look at the exercise for this skill. Each of the sentences below contains an adjective clause in a complete or reduced form. Underline the adjective clauses and indicate if the sentences are correct or incorrect. طيب هنا كل اللي هنعمله مفروض ان احنا بقى واحنا بنقرا دلوقتي بناخد بالنا بقى، يعني كل ما تقروا كتير كل ما تاخدوا بالكم الجمله دي ايه، دي صح، دي فيها فاعل وفعل ولا لا. واذا لقيت ان في فعلين وهقول طيب الفاعل التاني فين، واذا لقيت ان في فاعل متكرر بضمير هاخد بالي برضو. I will sell the car bought last year. Alright, let's look at sentence number 2. The children who sat in the fancy restaurant. Who sat in the fancy restaurant? Who, subject, sat is a verb. This is a complete adjective clause. The children is the subject. Where is the verb? I cannot say that the verb is sat because sat has the subject who. This sentence does not have a subject for a verb for the subject children. I can say, for example, the children who sat in the fancy restaurant, but I need a verb. The children who sat in the fancy restaurant were very, I can say noisy, hungry, whatever. Were very noisy. That completes the sentence. Using public money for private ends, using public money for private ends. Here I have a reduced form. This is a comma, and using, and you know that the reduced form of the adjective clause can come at the beginning. The senior official, الموظف الكبير, is facing charges of corruption. يبقى عارفين الجملة كانت أساسها إيه بقى؟ The senior official who used public money for private ends is facing charges of corruption. Now, who used private money ولا public money for private ends؟ اللي استعمل المال العام لأغراض خاصة، عملتها using public money for private ends، وانتوا عارفين ان دي ممكن تيجي في الأول، وإذا جت في الوسط لازم تبقى separated by commas. The last edition of the book, publishing last year, is not available in bookshops. The last edition of the book, publishing this year. طيب. The last edition is not available in bookshops. Publishing last year دي بتوصف ايه؟ دي بتوصف the word book. طيب. Does the word or does the book do the action? Does the book publish? Or does someone publish the book? In other words, is the book passive or active؟ هو اللي بيعمل الفعل ولا بيتعمل فيه الفعل؟ بيتعمل فيه الفعل. يبقى الغلطة الوحيدة هنا اللي هي the last edition of the book بدال publishing هتبقى published last year is not available in bookshops. Let's look at number 5. The party members who taking part in the elections appeared on many TV programs. طيب. Who taking part in the elections appeared. The party members appeared on many television programs. طيب. If I have who, then I must have a verb. يعني ممكن أقول the party members who are taking part in elections. يا إما يبقى عندي فاعل وفعل، لأن طبعا taking is not a verb. ممكن أقول who are taking part in the elections وتبقى الجملة صح. I have a complete adjective clause. وممكن لأن أنا عندي taking ممكن أشيل بس كل ده وأقول واشيل كمان، ما دام ما عنديش فعل يبقى لازم كمان اشيل الفاعل ويبقى عندي a reduced adjective clause. يبقى the party members taking part in the elections appeared on many television programs. Time number 6. The girl can be seen in the photographs is becoming a movie, not movies, a movie star. The girl can be seen برضو هنا نفس الحكاية. إذا عندي فعل can be seen in the photographs. إذا عندي فعل يبقى لازم عندي فاعل للadjective clause. Can be seen in the photograph. In the photographs هي الadjective clause. فيها فعل يبقى لازم يبقى فيها فاعل. يبقى the girl يا إما the girl who can be seen in the photographs, or you can just omit the verb and the subject of the adjective clause ويبقى عندي reduced form. تبقى يعني the girl seen in the photographs is becoming a movie star. The new product advertising on TV attracted many customers. برضو the new product advertising مش البرودكت هي اللي بتعمل الفعل. The product is not advertising. The product is advertised. The new product advertised on TV. The advertised on TV, this is a reduced adjective clause. لو كانت كاملة هتبقى the new product which is advertised on TV. Let's look at number 8. fascinated with what they knew about the new school. يبقى عرفنا ان دي a reduced adjective clause لان في كوما اهي. They decided to transfer their children there. أو because they were، وده على فكرة يعني احنا عارفين احنا بنتكلم عن مين، فممكن يبقى عندي non-identifying adjective clause في الأول. Fascinated with what they knew about the new school, they decided to transfer their children there. لو كانت كاملة كانت هتبقى because they were fascinated أو because who were fascinated. طيب. The employees in the company heard the news of the salary reductions, decided to resign. الموظفين اللي في الشركة لما سمعوا تخفيضات الأجور decided to resign، قرروا ان هم يستقيلوا. طيب برضو the employees in the company who heard عشان تبقى جملة كاملة، ومش مفروض تبقى على فكرة هنا the employees يعني the employees in the company who heard the news of the salary reductions، عشان انا عندي heard فعل يبقى هشيل ده لانه ما فيهوش فعل، وهي غلط كده هتبقى hearing the employees in the company hearing the news of the salary reductions، وهتبقى adjective clause a reduced adjective clause. Dissatisfied with the medical service provided, the hospital license was not renewed. هنا في غلطة جايز ما ناخدش بالنا منها. مفروض ان dissatisfied تشير الى الفاعل اللي في الجملة ده. طيب the hospital license was not renewed. Who renewed the hospital license؟ يعني عشان اقول ده dissatisfied يبقى انا لازم بوصف يجي بعد كده الفاعل اللي هو dissatisfied. الفاعل هنا مش مذكور لان الجمله دي passive. The hospital license was not renewed. طيب لازم اجيب الفاعل عشان اصلح الجمله دي، لازم اجيب الفاعل على فكره. لازم اقول dissatisfied with the medical service provided, the ministry did not renew the hospital license. لان dissatisfied هتبقى عايده على the ministry لانها غير راضيه عن اداء المستشفى. الوزاره ما عملتش او ما جددتش الرخصه. فممكن اقول هنا عشان الجمله تبقى صح the ministry did not renew the hospital license. لازم تبقى active. ليه؟ علشان dissatisfied بتعود على الشخص ولا الهيئة اللي غير راضية، فلازم تبقى مكتوبة موجودة، ما ينفعش تبقى passive. طيب we have learned that we can reduce adjective clauses. We can also reduce adverb clauses. Like adjective clauses, adverb clauses can be reduced. The connector remains, but the subject and the be verb are omitted. نشوف كده. طبعا the connector، ليه the connector remains؟ Because in the adjective clause the connector is a subject. ملوش معنى، يعني إذا كان السبجكت موجود هو ملوش معنى. فالسبجكت موجود هو بيحل محل الضمير اللي هو subject تاني، فممكن احذفه. لكن في الادفيرب clause I have connector words that have meaning، ما هيش مجرد، ما هيش subjects. تعالوا نشوف الجمل دي. Although she is unqualified, she will get the job. طيب أنا برضو هنا بشيل subject and the verb، لكن بيفضل عندي the connector, the adverb connector. ممكن أقول إيه؟ Although unqualified, she will get the job. When you are unwell, you can get ولا you can take a sick leave. هقول when unwell, you can take a sick leave. When the adverb clause does not have a be verb, it can still be reduced. يعني ممكن ما يبقاش عندي verb to be زي الجمل دي. The subject is omitted and the verb is changed into the ing form. يعني هقول although she is unwell، لو كانت although she is unwell قلنا although unwell، لكن لو كانت although she feels unwell فهقول although feeling unwell she still will go to work. When you answer unknown phone calls, do not give personal information. برضو هقول when answering أنا غيرت الفاعل والفعل وعملتهم present participle، لكن خليت when وخليت although اللي هي الادفيرب connector. When answering unknown phone calls, do not give personal information. All right, let's look at this example. When you may leave. Type, I have a comma and I have when, so I know that I have here either a complete adverb clause or a reduced adverb clause. طيب نشوف الاختيارات اللي عندنا. When the finished exam. لا. When finished with the exam is the exam finished. طيب أنا عندي هنا when finished with the exam هي reduced form. When you finish with the exam you may leave. يبقى B is correct. نبص على دول بسرعة because time is almost up. A and C have the subjects, the finished exam, the exam, but no verbs, so they are incorrect. D has the subject and the verb, but the word order is incorrect. Is the exam finished? No. The verb comes before the subject only in questions. B is the correct answer because it is the reduced form of when you are finished with the exam. Time is up, unfortunately, and we have to have a third part of this lecture, so we meet again for the third part of lecture 3. Thank you so much.